So today when we go down to the river, we're going to look very closely at the banks of the river in the mud to see what we can see, because there's something special that you can only really see by a river or on the side of a hill, and that's the roots of a tree. Now, you know that trees grow above the ground and you see their branches, but the roots are normally hiding underneath the ground. But when the river flows past, it washes away the mud and you can sometimes see the roots. Let's go and have a little look, shall we? Look at the roots of this big tree, children, where the tree started to fall and the water has washed all the soil away. See where the tree trunks grow right down to the water, and even on this side of the river, look. The roots have been washed away. Oh, hello Warren. Coming into my video. Big tree roots and little tree roots. Did you see all of those roots sticking out of the bank? They look all twisty and funny, don't they? And isn't it interesting that you can see the roots? Because normally you can't see them at all, but by the river you can. Let's write our sentence about tree roots today. So here we go. Down by the river I can see tree roots. That's going to be 9 words for us today. So we're going to start as usual with a capital letter, because the sentence always starts with a capital. D, d, d. There's the capital for down. Now to make our ow sound, we need an o and a w. Down. We need an n on the end. Down. Finger space, we're going to write by. We can hear that it starts with a b. B. Y. Remember your y rests on the line and the tail hangs underneath. Down by. Finger space. The. Here we go, a t and a h to make the th sound. And then we need an e on the end. Down by the river. We're going to split river into 2 parts to make it easier to spell. Let's use our finger space first, and then we're going to do riv. R, e, v. You can read words this way as well if you break them into 2 parts. Down by the river. Now we did an sound on the end. And how do we get an sound? With an and that makes an sound. Down by the river. Finger space. I. Let's go to the line underneath. We're going to write can, which we can sound out. K. I can. Finger space. C, we've written lots of times, it's a s, and to make that E sound we have an E and an E together. I can see. We're going to use this sound in the next word because we're going to write tree. So finger space, t, 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 t for tree, t, r, to make a tr sound. And now we need this sound here, the E and the E at the end of tree. Roots. Finger space, r, for roots. Now to make an oo sound, can you remember? It's an o and an o together. Root, root. And then we need a s, roots. And don't forget your full stop. Let's read that sentence together. Down by the river, I can see tree roots. Don't go away because I'm going to show you how to draw a tree with its roots showing through the riverbank. Well done, everybody. We're going to draw a tree root. Now, we did practice drawing a tree earlier on, didn't we? And what we're going to do is, this is going to be the top of our riverbank. Do that about halfway. I've turned my page the other way, so it's not landscape, it's what we call portrait way. And we're going to draw our tree up here. Now, do you remember how we drew one? It was a bit like a cloud, wasn't it? And then we had a number 11, like that, for the trunk, and then it kind of went out a little bit at the bottom. Remember, we practiced drawing trees earlier on, didn't we? Now, to show that this is at the top of the bank, we can do some grass. There you go. Or some flowers if you want. Okay. Now, down the bottom of the riverbank, we're going to have our tree. So let's do some, sorry, not our tree, our river. So do some wobbly lines to show that that's the water down here. And normally that just looks like a tree. You don't see the roots normally, do you? But we discovered that where that water washes away at the mud, the roots, you can see them, which is a really interesting part to see. Normally those bits of the tree are hiding. So to show our roots, we're just going to do some wobbly lines here. And then you can do some little bits coming off the wobbly lines. And that is what our roots look like, where they're sticking out of the mud. And that is what you can see. That is under the ground, but you just can't normally see it. And that's what it looks like, isn't it? That's our tree with its trunk. And there's the roots that are showing in the bank. And here's the river down here. Super drawing, everybody. Well done.